The world of Novus is calling for help. Its people in desperate need of courageous heroes and adventurers to fight back against the dangerous animals and creatures that are ravaging the land. Only now, over a century after the devastating magical maelstrom changed the realm forever, are true champions emerging from the ranks of brave souls trying to protect the lands. In Legends of Novus.
Hi everybody, this is Harry Jacobs and this is North of 60 Gaming, and I am the North of 60 Gamer. Welcome to today's show. Today we're going to look at Legends of Novus. This game is a kind of a special game to me because it's a fellow Canadian, Wes Woodbury, who lives in Calgary, so as the crow flies, he's almost a neighbor, even though he's 2,000 kilometers away and quite south. But he has had 3 successful Kickstarters, one of them being Legends of Novus, the other being Die in the Dungeon, and of course his latest Questros, which is a game based on tarot cards. But today we're going to be concentrating on Legends of Novus. This is a great gateway game. I highly recommend it. It's a bit of a sleeper in my collection. It doesn't get played that often, though it should get played more often. And I'm going to take it to the club, hopefully, once the COVID outbreak is passed again. We have been declared a COVID outbreak area here at the beginning of September, just after Labor Day. So, but I wanted to go over this game. So we're going to do a semi-unboxing since it's already been unboxed. We're going to do a setup. We're going to do some playthrough. We're going to give you some final thoughts. But if you're looking for a crawler that's going to take you from a gateway to another type of crawler that's a little bit heavier, I highly recommend Legends of Novus. I know for a fact that he has about 50 copies left. So you can find him on Facebook, say hello to him, and pick up a copy. He will send it directly to you. I've done that before. So please, let's take a look at it. I hope you like it, and hope you enjoy it enough to contact West and get a copy of this game. There is a second printing coming. So if you don't get it, there is one coming. I don't know when. He's working on the art and other things, and he's also working on another game. Shh, I probably shouldn't have said that. But let's take a look at Legends of Novus. Let's go down to the table, unbox that. So here's the box. I'm going to bring my cam up a little bit, but I wanted to make sure you were able to see the artwork here. As I said, it's Wes Woodbury, or Wesley Woodbury, and the art is by Angia Butera and Boris Turano, and it's published by Fundamental Games. That's Wes's publishing company. So this is the box. The artwork is great. Let's turn it around. Whee! There's the back. There is quite a number of components for the price of this game. This is a good value game. In a world torn asunder by magical maelstrom, Novus needs more than heroes. It needs legends. So Novus is its own contained world. It's got some interesting play, and we're going to get to that, but let's unbox it. So here we are. Let's unbox it. Oh, pardon me. So here's the location guide, and you'll use the location guide as you go across the map to determine what you're going to do in each location. Sometimes you can buy things, sometimes you explore, sometimes you gain things, some things, bad things happen. You know, it is a game where you crawl and you fight monsters. The artwork is good, though I believe he's talking about moving these to cards as opposed to a book like this. And you can see the smaller map on the back. Here's the rules. The rules are laid out very, very nicely. I've been through these before. These are really well done rules. And this game is, I wouldn't say it's a filler, but it's not a medium weight game. I'd say it's on the heavier side of light. That's why I'm saying it's a gateway. There's some solo rules, team games. You can play competitive. So there's a lot of variety of games that you can play with this, or permutations. There's your step-by-step combat. So he's done a good job of not wasting any space on the back like that. As I said, there's die in the dungeon. I've covered that a while ago. This is a fun game. I don't know if he has any copies left. If he does, go pick it up. It's a monster game who's trying to fend off the heroes, and they use dice to keep track of the attributes. And it's a fun game. This is a filler, but it is a bit of a dungeon crawler aspect to it, and I really recommend it. Here we have the player boards. Now, so this is really quite nice. I think if I was going to redo this game myself, and I'm not saying Wes should, I just probably would have gone with maybe a thicker board perhaps, but it's all inlay, as you can see here, where you can't really see it, but it has a very nice inlay to keep things from sliding around, because you have items, and so you can fill up these slots with your items, which is really a nice way of doing it. Really stresses that you can only carry so much, and you got your skills down here, and then your experience. So those are the player mats. Oh, unbury that. Let's see what else we got here. This is the game board. So it is quite compact. Now, I do highly recommend the mat. So there is a mat. I own the mat, and it's in amongst my mats, and I'm going to have to dig it out perhaps to show you this, but I don't have it right now. But these are all the different locations. You'll start in Vase City, and then you will go out from there. You will go visit the various locations. You will fight monsters. You will look for things, and hopefully you will be the hero that you need to be. And as always, there is the organization. Everything's in cards. There are the various big-ass monsters. So there's quite a number of them. Who is that? That is Zematic, Leash Lord, and Christos, the Scorpion Spider. Nice, solid, good. We have our cards, and these look like your item cards. We have your standees. Hopefully at some point perhaps that, we would see miniatures. Don't tell Wes that though, because he probably, maybe he is. I don't know what he's doing. I don't quite remember this. Oh, I think what these are for. It's been a while since I played. It's two-sided for some weird reason. I'll have to look at that up in the rules. Sorry, I don't really remember. It's been quite a while, and that's why I took it off the shelf. There's coinage, there's dice, there's cubes, all in geek boxes. You know me, I love geek boxes. I love organization. We have various cards. Oh, look at that. A giant spider. Let's just take some of these monsters out and take a look here. So we have a giant spider, a wild Hogarth. Nice artwork. This game is really well done. It's kind of a sleeper in my collection. It is a great game. Doesn't get played enough, and that's why we're pulling it out, because I want to share this with you. And we're going to go through some of these. What else is in the card? These are Superior Summoner. So these are skill sets that you can pick up as you play, and we'll discuss more of that. There's your base classes. So let's take a look at our base classes here. We have Sorcerer. There we are. Davra, Wizard of Assia. And we have Fabia, Wandering Wizard. And there's quite a number of characters that you can play. Here we are. Look at this guy. This is Beric, Druid of Bay. There we are. There's some conversion cards. There's some player aids. We have tons and tons of equipment. There we are. Let's take a look at some of the equipment. 2 stacks of it. Oh my gosh. We have allies. Oh, these are the outlets. We have allies, and we got cards mixed up. It looks like we have events. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my gosh. Ah, here we go. So these are, I believe these are the adventure cards, yes, that are turned over the wrong way. That's kind of a sign of the times with me, having things done over. These are events that can come up. You can get allies. You can fight monsters. You can find things. Here's your Griffin ally. Neat. Huh. So this is what's in the box. And we have lots of and I'll cut some of this out, but lots of equipment. Look at this. Tons and tons of equipment. Cloak of, I can't read that, concentration, and it's a long bow. And we'll go over how this all plays in a moment or two. But I just wanted to show you what was in the box. Component-wise, it's really quite good. Other than the player mats, which are a bit flimsy, I highly recommend the neoprene mat over this board. But if you're trying to save space, that's the way to go. The neoprene mat does take up a little bit more space, but I like a little more space on the board. In this case, we will use this when I play through, only because of the space on my table here. If you've watched my show before, you know that I don't have much space. But that is the semi-unboxing of Legends of Novus. And I forgot to put the location guide here. So let's get down to the table and start adventuring. Well, as you can see, the board is set up and we are ready to go. We have decided to take Vin, Shadow of Dansk. And he is a basic thief. And on the back is a backstory. The origins of Vin are unknown, as he took on the name and the persona after escaping authorities and fleeing to the cold, dark city of Dansk a decade ago. Since arriving to the City of Shadows, Vin developed a reputation of being willing to do anything for anyone for the right price. Most of the criminals in Dansk refer to Vin as the Shadow for his skills at blending into the surroundings and lurking in the dark corners and alleys. A reward was recently issued by the lords of the city for the destruction of Kroig, the ice giant, and the Krager beast. Vin took an interest. So he is a base thief. And as you can see, we have taken the thief card. And this allows us, when we take a reward card, normally we would take one or two, but we can get an extra card. So, in this case, we can pick two, choose one. He's also a pickpocket, so when we explore a city location, we can gain an extra 25 gold. And if you're in Vase City itself, and Vase is hiding right under here, there is Vase. You will be able to gain an extra 10. So as you know, I do have a small space, and I have brought the camcorder down as far, and you can see here I'm using a purple meeple just so that you can see where he's moving easier, because if I do that, he takes up too much of the room, and if I do that, of course, you can't see him at all. So if I use the purple meeple, and this is the map, and we're going to visit locations on this map, such as Vase City or Silverin. Now, Dansk is way down here, and if we can get our thief Vin down to Dansk, there's a special experience that he can get. So we're going to certainly want to travel down there. You can see around the board the various actual monsters, and they vary in power, and part of what we have to do is get 3 of them. So while we're down here, there's certainly Kroig the ice giant, Kronig the ice giant, and he takes a 16 power. And we have the caverns, so we have different monsters such as the Krager beast. Yes, so they're Krager beasts. So these 2 of these are kind of the weaker powers. You can see the Krager beast is only a 9. We have to destroy 3 of the beasts around the board. as well as do one quest, which means we're going to have to churn these adventure cards. So we're going to want to explore sites. We're going to want to move down here. We're going to want to gain our experience to become more powerful as we go along. Right here is our character board, and you can see this is really nicely laid out. This is our experience here, and this is our combat value here. Now, our combat value is actually a +2, so we're actually 3 at the moment. We'll get one combat value from our experience and 2 from our thief abilities. And if we get other modifiers along the way, such as items, weapons, armor, or skills, we will have a chance to make our thief VIN more powerful. We have our dice here, and we have yellow and white, and they'll represent combat values, and we'll explain combat when we get to one. And then we have our explore dice, which is used when we move. When we move 1, 2, we will go roll the dice, and if you could see this, you would say that I would get a reward. There we are. You can just see it there, and you can get a reward. You get a free movement, an encounter, 10 gold, an adventure. So we're certainly going to want to have cards. So that's how movement works. And there's really only 2 things that we can do on a turn. We can either move or we can explore. We can move up to 2 spaces. Of course, if we roll the dice, and there are some effects that will allow you to move more, we'll just move along. If we stay in a spot, we can explore. Of course, when you explore, you will use an explore action, and you will pick an encounter card and explore the city. In some cases, locations have explore things that you can do. If it doesn't say specifically an explore, then you would take a card. Sometimes the area that you visit might have its own explore action. When you do explore, what we'll do is we'll put our little counter underneath so we know we can explore. You cannot stay in that location. Once you explore it, you have to move. We have our lucky horseshoe, which lets us re-roll the dice once, and we start with 10 gold. And that's pretty much how the game starts. You can see that we have our turn counter. We have 25 turns or we will lose the game. I did see a video, it was 30, so I wonder, was it too easy at that point and I believe he was playing a prototype, so I'm not sure why the difference in the video that I saw from Colin, I think, from One Stop Co-op, was 30 turns versus what I have here, what the rules say, which is 25 turns. On the back of the rules, nifty little step-by-step combat, and that'll help us through the combat phases. We also have our handy, here's the phases. We have our preparation phase, which is always first, which will allow us to place any number of reward cards, play any number of reward cards, play 1 adventure event card, purchase 1 adventure card or 1 reward card for 25 gold pieces, place it in your hand. I believe you've got to be in a city for that. Then we can have the adventure phase, which will come over to here. So we're either going to travel or explore, which we've already talked about. You may travel up to 2, roll the dice, which we've already talked about, and use the location guide. We're going to use an explore action, and we're going to follow these steps. For a non-explore location, the standard explore steps as follows. Flip over the top card of the adventure. If it's an encounter card, discard it and battle the top card of the encounter deck. Otherwise, place the card in your hand. If you do not face an encounter, you may draw either another adventure card or a reward card, or you may instead play an encounter card in your hand. And I can't tell you how important it is to be able to get your experience up so that you can get those bonuses. But those are what we're going to do. We also know when we're in the city that we can buy experience. So 50 gold buys 1, 100 gold buys 3, and 150 buys 5. And since we know that Vin is good at buying experience, we're probably going to try to do that a little bit more. And here's those combat steps again on the back of this handy reference card. And with that, we have one special card, which is a Raptosaurus. And when we hit that location, we'll battle this once before we can do a regular location. He's not particularly powerful, but he does have 11, and we have 3. So what happens when we do a combat is we're going to roll the dice, and let's just say I'm 8, and the Raptosaurus is 11. I go 8 plus 3 is 11. Raptosaurus is 11 plus 2 is 13. I would lose. And we certainly don't want to lose. But that's pretty much all the rules. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull an encounter, an adventure. So let's pull our adventure card out. And we have Not This Battle. Play this event card only after you draw an encounter card. Discard the revealed encounter card and draw a new encounter card. So if you draw something powerful, we have a do-over basically. And we're just going to put this card here. It doesn't take up any space. Then we're going to draw a reward card, which is here. And we have, a dagger. And it says, if you're in combat, you gain +1. And you have a +1 sign here. And you can see it's a one-handed weapon, and it's worth 5 at the store. Now, we can't place this right away. As we heard, we can only do that in the preparation phase, and we can play 1 card. And it's going to give us a 1 shield bonus automatically, and just +1 when we're in an encounter. And that is it. We are ready to go.